Hello, 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 and welcome. Shall I say hello, world champions? Even though we're not cricket world champions, but we're rugby world champions.
Yet.
Welcome, welcome to another episode of the Full Quota podcast. It's been an incredible week, but remember, as always, we're your number one cricketing podcast. We talk all things South African cricket, domestic cricket. We do Proteas cricket, who've had a great weekend. That Friday was wild. And Tim and I will talk about that Friday on another day once our blood pressure's gone down a little bit, because this weekend's been a little bit great. But well done to the Springboks. And yeah, so there's a Full Quota podcast. Remember, you can follow us on X now, not Twitter, X, but you know it's Twitter at Full Quota Pod. That's where you get the podcast. Please also subscribe to the One World Sports Radio YouTube channel, which is our podcast platform, right? We've got a rugby podcast, we've got a cricket podcast, we've got a soccer we do have a soccer podcast. I don't even know. So many podcasts, but we're all there. We're also live on the Full Quota Podcast Spotify channel, as well as the Apple Podcast for those people who like to have that phone with the Apple. Yeah, we got you too. So today, as always, we are in our In Conversation series. We thought it'd be a great way to talk about the domestic season, well, the One Day Cup. Since we haven't been talking about it, because as you know, there's a World Cup going on, but we've gone in and out, talking about a couple of results, about a team that's done an incredible job. And one of the leaders of that team will be here. They won the One Day Cup on the weekend. Finally, Tim, your Western Province has a trophy. And it seems like things are looking good. Yes. But outside of that, Tim, how does it feel to be a champion of domestic cricket, of the One Day Cup? And
yes. Now we're focusing on the cricket.
Yes.
It feels great. I knew that the side, when we were discussing them last season, I said it's too early. I like what they're doing. I like the squad, but last season was just a little bit too early. They had good games, but they were not quite consistent. This competition that we've just had, the One Day Cup, everything clicked, and they really played. They played the best cricket. I don't think anybody can begrudge them for their trophy, because they really did play better than everybody else.
So, Tim, I'm going to allow you to introduce our guest, because you are the One Day Cup champion. And last season was me, now it's you. So,
yeah, fair enough. Look, it's somebody who's been around a long time. He's been around since the 2010 season. He's played for South Africa across all three formats. Longer format, he's got 356 wickets at an average of 29. And just a real stalwart of South African domestic cricket. It doesn't always get the plaudits that he deserves. But it's Beuran Henricks.
Yes, as we bring him up, we want to say thank you to Western Province Cricket for organizing this one. Beuran, how does it feel to be a One Day Cup champion? Last season you lost in the final. This time you hosted a final at home and led the team to a win.
Mpho, Tim, firstly, thanks for having me. It was obviously a great feeling on Saturday, being able to lift the trophy. We missed out last year, which hurt a lot. But I think after that game against the Lions at the Wanderers, we spoke about not wanting to ever feel that way again. Coming so close and just missing out by virtually a single game. It was great to get over the line this year, being able to lift that trophy on Saturday afternoon, just before the Rugby World Cup final. It's just a cherry on top for them to win as well. It was quite special. It's a good group of guys that's been playing. Special characters that came out during the final as well. Just a decent performance all around.
Yeah, there was some incredible performances. For me, that 100 from Mihlali Mpongwana was a step in the right direction, because as Tim says, last season, it felt as though you guys had all the ingredients. It just was that Lions team have been in finals before and knows how to navigate those spaces. Whereas this time around, even in that game where you played at the Wanderers this season, you were a totally different side. You've covered all the bases, and it was so interesting because it was like we were seeing a team that was grown into itself over the last year.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, like I said, we spoke last season after that game, and it hurt for everyone, coaching staff, players. We kept the same kind of squad together, barring one or two new players that came in. So everyone understood what the task was this season, and to do it, not losing a game in the One Day Cup was it was even more special. We've played outstanding cricket. There's been some special performances from the senior guys, but also the younger players. It's not just chip-ins here and there. It's been outright performances, that took us over the line. For example, I'll take Valentine Katimi and Abdullah Bayomi in the Dolphins game. Crucial knocks from them, scoring 50s to get us over the line in that game. Again, Mitlali this weekend, special player, showed heart, showed character. Just really excited for him and what's to come. So yeah, it's a good group of guys.
There was a spell at the Wanderers that you and Andre bowled to put the Lions under so much trouble. It was so fiery. It was like I was sitting there going, "What made you guys angry?" But I realized then there were some former Western Province players there, and there may have been some words, but it was one of the best spells of bowling I've seen on the Highveld. I know you did play there, so it was like, oh, he knows all our secrets.
Yeah, listen, I love the Wanderers there, honestly. There's a little board where you get your name on if you put in performances. My name's been on there a couple of times, so I always want to put in performances at the Wanderers. It's obviously known for pace bowling, but yeah, that spell, I think it was a really good spell between me and Andre. I think we've built a very good partnership now that we've played a couple of years together. We understand each other. I understand what he needs to do, and he understands what I need to do. So yeah, it's just been a good partnership all around. And I think that game, we didn't necessarily just want to bowl them out. We just wanted to bowl well. It's bowling at the Wanderers. Sometimes you can get carried away with the pace and the bounce. So for us, it was just to keep it simple and obviously, try and force them to play some awkward shots that they're not used to playing. So I think that's all it was, and you could see that our lines and our lengths were no different. It's either top of off or we're giving them the odd bouncer, and at the end of the day, they need to make the play from there. So yeah, special.
Yeah, it was special to watch. It was amazing.
When I was talking to Mpho about Province's prospects for last season, I kind of said, one of the key, there were several key aspects, but one of the key aspects was Nando Berger's fitness, because he's had injury problems the last couple of years. I said he needs to remain fit. Now, obviously, that didn't plan out for him last season, but just how important is it for the team that he is at the moment 100% fit, because he's been outstanding in this tournament, hasn't he?
No, he has been outstanding, honestly. I mean, leading wicket taker in the competition. Last year, I know he was gutted because he couldn't play. It wasn't. It's multiple injuries that came about last season. We know we started on fire in the T20 comp in Poch. But yeah, special player. It's highly important to us that he's fit and available. He adds an extra element into our bowling attack with the extra pace. He's accurate as well with that pace, and he's got some experience now behind his belt. So yeah, I mean, he just complements the bowling attack very well, and with him in there, with the rest of us, myself, Dane Patterson, Mitlali, it's just a nice little full package that you get out of the unit. So yeah, it's been great to have those guys around.
Yeah, and obviously now after you've won, obviously looking towards the 4-day series and preparations towards that. Last season, you would say the same as Tim mentioned, just with a couple of injuries on the side, didn't look great. Started off well. Tony putting up his hand and a couple of key wins there at the beginning, but then faded towards the back end. This time with obviously starting a little bit later for the 4-day series, but how are the preparations for that? And is it we want another trophy by the end of it all?
Yeah, obviously the eye is now onto 4-day cricket. Even though Saturday was a massive celebration for us, there was a reminder that we are 1 week away from a new competition. Like you said, for last year, again, same scenario where we started off quite well, but just didn't end off well enough to get over the line. So yeah, it was a conversation about making sure that we can either win this trophy now the past weekend and call it a day on the season, or we can eye the next prize and even the T20 comp next year Feb. That's nobody's done a table before. So if we open up our eyes, the opportunities there with the squad that we have, with the characters that we've built, and with the kind of camaraderie that we have in the team now. So yeah, the message is clear that we want to make sure that we start well with this competition.
That's good. That's good. Tim, I want to go back into Beuran's career and everything else after all of this. Yeah. So Beuran, where did it all start? How did you get into the game of cricket? Obviously, for people of color, it's not the direct sport, right? And for you to get in, it's always interesting to find out like how you started and how it happened.
Take me way back here. It obviously started at a young age. I was always passionate about cricket. I always enjoyed cricket. My mom as well, she loved cricket, and we always used to go to the Newlands games. I played a lot of indoor cricket. That was like 13, 14 around there. And then I started playing youth cricket for Craven Cricket Club. Actually never played school cricket, so don't even ask me about school cricket. I've never played school cricket. So yeah, I played for Craven Cricket Club here in Cape Town at a young age, and then moved over to Bellville Cricket Club up until I kind of went professional. But how I got to the professional part was kind of like I don't know how it happens a story. To be honest with you, it was along the lines of I did play Coke Week back in 2009, and from there I went to the UK for a bit, played club cricket over there, came back, and then kind of in the wilderness, didn't know what was going to happen in terms of my cricket. Just kept on playing club cricket as passionate as I was enjoying it there. And then all of a sudden it was a situation where, they need some net bowlers at the Proteas nets, which they do for every series. I went, my mom actually took me, to go and bowl to the Proteas. I was really excited about that. That was in 2009 as well. I think it was a series against Australia in 2009.
Yes, we remember that series. We remember that test match.
Yeah, and then, I was bowling in the nets. Obviously the aim was to bowl as fast as I can. I'm a fast bowler, and you obviously want to impress the likes of Dale Steyn, Morne Morkel, bowling with you. So yeah, it was good to be in that environment, and obviously bowling over there. I kind of impressed a lot of people, and all of a sudden it was a situation where Vinnie Barnes, the bowling coach at the time, pulled me aside and said, "Listen, who do you play for?" I said, "Listen, I'm playing club cricket. I haven't really had any calls from franchises or amateur teams at the time." And then he said, "Listen, I'm going to give you a call after training, and we'll have a chat."
Oh wow!
And then the same net. Once Vinny's done chatting to me, Albie Morkel pulls me aside, Morne Morkel. They say, "Listen, who do you play for? What's going on?" So confusing for me at the time. I'm 19, I have no idea what's going on here. Guys are talking to me like I'm a part of their team. And then 2 days later, I'm on a flight to Pretoria, having a trial with the Titans. Obviously Mornay and I'll be putting the ball. I had a trial. Titans offers me a contract on the spot. I have to fly back now. All of a sudden, I'm getting a call from Shukri Conrad as well.
At Province.
At Cobras at the time. Listen, all of a sudden, I hear you got offered a contract. I haven't seen you. Come to the Nets. Let me see what you're about. I came to the Cobras Nets at the time. Bowled a couple of overs there. A week later, I'm playing my first amateur game. So, it was a crazy kind of 2 weeks in that period after that. Net with the Proteas. And then played an amateur game. I think I don't know what it was. Salih Nakadin was actually coach of that team at the time. And then I played that game. I think I took like 3 wickets in the first innings. And then after the game, I got an envelope from Shooks saying, "Here's your contract. I want you to sign it." So it was like a crazy period where I for one honestly didn't know how this was happening to me, but it was just a crazy moment, and it was kind of special to kind of go from not knowing where you are in cricket to having one net with the Proteas and being recognized in that regard. And now I'm sitting here 14 years later, and I think I'm hoping I've kind of built a good career for myself. So always appreciative of the people that's done it for me. It's quite good.
Excellent. That's amazing. Thank you, Vincent and Abu Marco, for spotting a genuine talent.
No, actually, the true star of the story is Beuran's mother, who kept on pushing him, driving around anywhere, put him on a plane to Pretoria. Your mom's a superstar for me.
Most definitely. I mean, she would leave work if there was cricket practice or if there was those Proteas Nest sessions. She'd actually leave work to go and take me. She saw an opportunity, and she saw that I can go further than what I think. Obviously appreciative of her for her efforts over the years as well. And till today, I'm getting the same conversations that I had when I was a kid. Got to work hard, got to put in fitness, so it's an ongoing thing. So very appreciative.
I love it. That's amazing.
Love it. That's lovely. I watch a lot of club cricket down in the Cape. I've seen, for example, Daniel Smith, quite a lot about Daniel Smith before he went up to the province side.
Yeah.
How important was it for you, do you think, to have that grounding before you made it, rather than just go through from school, SA schools, and then straight up? Do you think that was important that you had that grounding at club level in the first place, just to keep you settled? Do you think that helped?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it was 18 when I started playing first team cricket for Bellville. And you 18, you're playing against grown men like 28, 30, even 37-year-olds, who are not going to give you a sniff of anything. And if you come at them, they're going to come harder. So it builds a lot of character in you at a young age. You've got to kind of deal with some things that you don't want to hear on a cricket field. You've got to really put in proper performances to be recognized at a club level. But I think things were quite different that time. I know now in Cape Town they only play 50 over cricket because of COVID that happened, and they had to change kind of regulations at the time. So playing 2-day cricket was definitely a positive back then. It taught you the longer format of the game. It taught you multi-day cricket. It taught you being on the field from 10 in the morning till almost 5, 6 at night. So that time was obviously valuable, spending time on your legs like that. And when I made the jump to amateur cricket, it was kind of, I knew what was going on, but now it was just clamped up into 3 days. So yes, you're going to learn as you go up a level, but obviously at the time, club cricket was massive to kind of build that foundation.
Yeah, okay. Agreed. I hope that still plays a part. I know it's going to play less of a part. As I said, Daniel Smith's done that. He's gone through the club system and he's gone through.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting and to see the different club levels or different club setups here around the country. It's quite fascinating that they're not necessarily the same, but still the same level of intensity. There's a lot of good cricketers down there, and
there is. Look, I firmly believe, we've been chatting a lot in the change room, and we're chatting around how do we close the gaps from international and domestic level, and then domestic level and club level. How do you close those gaps? And I think it's obviously you can close. They kind of close the gap now on international and domestic a little bit. I think the guys that are going in there are really showing that they're capable of playing at that level. But it's kind of like a big concern at the moment, the level from club cricket to domestic cricket.
Yes.
I'm a believer that we need to go back to that multi-day cricket. We need to go back to 2-day cricket, where guys can actually spend some time in the field and hone in on skill. Being able to bowl 10 overs a day, 12 overs a day, or even further. For us, it's like 18 overs a day is the standard.
Yes.
And then obviously batters spending time at the crease, not just coming in trying to score 100 or 60 balls. It's actually spending time at the crease and honing in on your skill. As a batter, that's your craft at the end of the day. So hopefully those things can change in that way.
Yeah, there's a place, and this is I think where obviously the breaking up of the franchise kind of got lost in the ethers. You lost that bed of really good semi-professional players who most of them now are playing in Division 2, which is a good thing, right? Because then they're a little bit more than semi-professional, right? But even with like the SA20 auction, there were 80 rookies who put up their hands to say that they're good enough to be part of this whole SA20 thing. And my thinking is then that you can't have a system where there's 80 people who are not even, some of them are necessarily in the system, but they are not playing regular strong cricket. And yes, they're playing club, but there needs to be a way to kind of have them and some of the best club cricketers playing in a level just below your team. So it's like an 18 type of setup, right?
Yes.
For each of the provinces. And then essentially they'll play multi-day cricket, yes, and we'll figure out the travel and the logistics and everything else. But that's something that you could sell and get guys to play, because for me that's where you then give those guys that step up. Because, and that was my question, that would be my question to you, from coming from effectively playing club cricket and moving into that Western, or the Cobras at the time, that Cobra side. How was that jump? Because you just described it as probably large, but what are the key things that you wished 14 years later you knew back then in 2009?
Back then, it's definitely being prepared. It's preparation. I think at club you train twice a week, Tuesday, Thursday. For me as a new ball bowler at the time, when I was playing club cricket, it was like bowl the new ball and that's it. Bowl your new ball spell at the nets, and then go into Saturday and you're just bowling with a new ball and you're bowling a couple of overs there in the middle, and then you're done. With multi-day cricket, like 4-day cricket, you're doing that possibly over 2 days, 2.5 days.
Yes.
So your body's got to be conditioned to that. Your skills got to be up where, if that ball starts reversing, do you know what to do? Nobody just rocks up and is able to reverse the ball with control, with pace. So those are the things that I kind of got a shock with. I had to be taught like quite drastically how to learn that at that level, because I made the jump so quickly that I didn't have that skill set. I had the pace, yes, and I didn't have that skill to be able to take my game to the next level. So yeah, it's something that you need to kind of learn quickly. So that's why I say that my biggest concern is that are the guys learning that now we're playing very limited cricket domestically and at a club level.
Yes.
So how do guys learn a little bit faster? Because I think that's the biggest concern right now.
The sooner we get to home and away in domestic cricket, the better. And I know
not
what
even,
they're going to
Tim.
say, but
Just 10 games. I just need you guys to play 10 games.
Yeah.
A minimum.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, Beuran, you'll know on our podcast, like we are home and away, 10 game guys, because it gives guys a chance, right? And effectively what we're doing is we're producing a microwave solution to cricket, and it's people, and everyone goes at their own pace. Some people go quickly, some, like if I look at a guy like Vernon Philander, right, it took him like 9-10 years to make it into that national team, and he was in the domestic setup, right? And yes, there'll be superstar kids who'll just walk in and they just pick everything up, but sometimes you need time, and to a certain extent with you, it took you 5 years to get everything and get into that Proteas setup. And we just need to be able to give that opportunity to the whole system to say, yes, as long as the system's there and guys can play cricket. Because I look at the UK, I look at Australia, guys play cricket. They play. Even in like winter, they'll still do something, right? And looking at your rise, obviously it was 5 years from 2009 to then that Proteas T20 call up. And when you get that phone call, how do you feel? Like, it's like, who was the first person you phoned? But yeah, like, how was it?
It was emotional, to be honest with you. For me at the time, I was just loving being a part of that Cobras team. At the time I was playing my best cricket. I was playing good cricket, bowling quickly. I was playing with Beuran Henricks. I was playing with Kemp. I was playing with Rory Kleinveld, Robin Peterson, some unbelievable names. I was just honestly happy to be there. So to get that call, it was Andrew Hudson at the time. Yes, it was honestly like I was actually driving to practice that day, and he called me. We had the conversation on speaker. I wasn't driving with my phone in my hand. And then he said, "Listen, obviously I've done well. I've knocked the door down, and I'm going to be going up against Australia in the upcoming series, and I'm going to the World Cup." Now it's kind of like a 2-in-1 phone call. You're playing a series for the Proteas, but you're also going to the World Cup. I would have liked to have just had a series and then had a warm up for the World Cup, but it was like a 2-in-1, and I put on the phone and I cried, honestly. Because I, for the life of me, did not expect that so soon. When you see guys that have been at that level, it's obviously you're filling some serious boots, and you want to make sure that you're up for that challenge. And I know I was bowling well. I was confident. I was happy with where my game is, and I had the biggest support structure below me from the Cape Cobras team, obviously down to my family. I had the biggest support structure. So I think I was ready for that. But it was emotional, and obviously I cherish those moments.
That's beautiful.
What about the? You've often said previously that Test cricket was the pinnacle for you. That was the aim. That's the format you most enjoyed. So obviously there was a mixed, shall we say, performance in that Test. But you came back in that second innings. Take us through getting that call up. What was it like, and how important was it to prove to everybody that you were, quality in that second innings with that 5-wicket haul?
Yeah, obviously it was again a nice moment for me to get back into the national side. After that World Cup, I didn't get another opportunity after that up until Mark Boucher became coach, and he gave me a call and said, "Listen, are you ready to play?" And I said, "Yeah, obviously I'm ready." Got the test call up, and then KG obviously got that ban, and my opportunity came. I always felt I was ready. Like you said, I just love Test cricket. I love red ball cricket, and I wanted to do well. I think I put a lot of pressure on myself in that start in the first innings, where you don't want to mess it up. To put it lightly, you don't want to mess it up. And then it's international cricket. It's ruthless. So if you don't start well, you can be kept on the back foot for a long time. So obviously that first innings went by. Sat with Shah Langeveld at the break. Sat with Jacques Kallis. And we had conversations about how does it get better from here, and it was just to kind of calm me down and tell me, like, listen, just keep it simple. You've done it for years. Your numbers are unbelievable. Domestic cricket, it doesn't change here. The lengths you bowl don't change here. The lines you bowl don't change here. It's just how long you do that for. So that kind of calmed me down. And in the second innings, I was really kind of committed to doing well, giving it my all. I think after every spell, I told Faf, I just didn't want you to take the ball out of my hand. So yeah, obviously happy to have come back a little bit stronger. So yeah, like this debut, 5 first well, again, walked off the field.
On that Wanderers board, it's all that matters.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it was special. Again, an emotional moment for me because I've always wanted to play Test cricket. I honestly did not care about white ball cricket. I played I don't know how many games before I actually made my Test debut. But yeah, to get that and to get a 5 as well was really special.
That's amazing. You've been in part of the Proteas setup, and I'm just gonna go 2014 to now, so about 10 years. And how have you kept yourself focused in check? Because in the period, you're still one of the top domestic bowlers through, but it feels as though you just keep missing opportunities. There's always somebody in front or whatever it is, but it must be very hard to mentally keep and focus and be like, my chances around the corner, especially after that 2019 World Cup. I don't think anybody knew what was going to happen, but yeah, like what do you tell yourself? Do you keep yourself focused and be the utmost professional that you are?
Yeah, look, through my career, I had my one mentor that I always went to with regards to anything that, kind of pushes me down. Shah Langeveld was that guy. I spent a lot of time with him on and off the field. And he was one to actually have honest conversations, not really kind of wrap some bandages around you. He had open and honest conversations to tell you, listen, you've got time on your hands. It's not like you 33, 34 now. You're 24. I was 2019. I'm 29. So you've still got time. You've still got your body that's looking after itself. So it's just not to get demotivated. It's not to tell yourself you can't do it. Reality is you're competing with the likes of Tailstein, Morne Morkel, Bernard Philander. They're world-class players. They've shown it for years and years. You can't just expect to kind of push them out, even though you are putting in performances that warrant selection. They put in performances at an international level, so it's not a comparison. And I think that's what kept me going, just making sure that I put into performances here so that when that opportunity comes, I'm ready. And like you said, Mpho, I think, guys do kind of make their way around you sometimes, but in reality, you also have to look at what the situation is. I think it was right after the World Cup. I got dropped. Kind of didn't get an explanation as to why I'm getting dropped, but then KG comes through. I'm wondering, how the hell does this happen? This kid's under 19. Yes, he's taken wickets, but I've done the same. I average probably better than him. But then again, it's KG. It's a generational talent. I'm 25. He's 24. Sorry, I'm 25. He's 19. He's done it at domestic level 2 years in a row. He's done it at SA level, and now he's going to the national team. And the history obviously wrote itself for KG. But I had to tell myself quite quickly that, whoa, listen, this guy is obviously doing something special for the country as well. So again, having that conversation with Charles was vital for me. So yeah, it was just having that little conversations to make sure that I am still good enough, and make sure that my focus doesn't go away from what I am putting in my career. I can either be a sulky player or a moody player on the field and just hate on Cricket South Africa and hate on the domestic system, or I can end off on a good note or go through my career having put in performances, having put the numbers on the board and leave with some good stats on my name. Yeah,
that's good.
I think it's controlling the controllables.
Yeah.
Yes.
The things that you can control. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you talked there a little about the end, so I'm sure you've got a few years left in you. I certainly hope you do.
Well, for Tim's sake, he hopes you do.
I do, yes.
I don't mind
definitely.
you coming back to the Wanderers if you feel like you want to come back to Joburg.
Many conversations about that.
I like that. I like the Province pace attack. I like it. I like it a lot. No, but seriously, you've done everything in South African cricket. You played through all these 3 formats. You've been to the IPL. You've done the SA20. What else is there for you to do? Have you got set goals that you want to achieve, or as you just said, you just want to end up on a positive note and fit and healthy when you do eventually hang up your boots?
Look, my goals, it's kind of set goals that I've had throughout my career. I haven't really tweaked them at all. Basically, I want to be the best bowler in the country. It's as simple as that. What happens from there, I can't control, like you said before. I don't select teams. I don't select myself. All I can do is put the numbers on the board. So it's always for me to either be number 1 or in the top 5 of the bowlers in the country, wicket taking. And then just making sure that, whatever team I'm with, I'm contributing in match-winning performances and not just, looking after myself and, making sure I get my 5 a year, 5 a day. That's putting in match-winning performances for teams, which I think carries more weight than the stats at the end of the day. So that's real motivation for me now, moving into the kind of latter years of my career. For me now, it's I actually spoke to Snakes. I told him, listen, I'm just going to take it one season at a time with 4-day cricket. I'm still very motivated. I still feel like I've got a lot in the tank. I want to make sure that like I say, I put in performances for the team so that we can win some more silverware down here in Cape Town. Mpho, I've done it a few times at the Lions. So I think you guys are in a good space.
We've got enough.
You guys are in a good space, but I got to come and do it here as well. Make sure that I give back to the union that obviously kicked off my career. I feel like it's that for me. Cobras at the time, but still Western Province Cricket Association. They put a lot into my career. making sure that I can thrive, and I just want to make sure that I can give back now, and hopefully pass on knowledge to the youngsters of today that you, whatever circumstances you come from, whatever path you're on, you can actually make it to the top. And I don't think anybody should be demotivated to try and push for pull-ups.
Yeah, that's amazing. We're gonna go into the portion of the interview where we're just gonna ask some interesting questions. So first one, what pitch, if you could bowl for the rest of your life, if your body could allow, what's that one pitch that you could take with you and roll out whenever you have a bowl?
It is the Wonders.
Is it?
Yeah.
The other question about.
I'll take strip number 6. On the square. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 6th strip, I'll take that one home with me any day. It's on the slope.
On the slope. Is it the closest one to the
scoreboard?
To the scoreboard.
The scoreboard, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. I see that one.
That's the bowler side.
Okay. You see,
I think I don't know. I can't remember. I think it's like 6 or 7 fifers that I've taken at the one.
On that strip.
4 of them are on that strip.
Sure.
4 of the 7 are on that strip.
There's a reason he likes it, Mpho. There's a reason he likes it.
Yeah. I love that. The Wanderers, I've honestly, I love playing there for the 5 years that I was there.
It's beautiful. It's so there's a thing about getting carried away with the pace and the bounce, right? And a lot of the bowlers who come up here just see it while they're doing the warm-ups, and then they're like, okay, so how is that adjustment, right? For a fast bowler, because it's extra pace, extra bounce, right? So from the length that you're bowling at Newlands, even at Centurion, it's totally different. But what everyone talks about it on TV, but what do you need to do as a bowler to adjust to it?
I think you just got to realize that 6 meters stays 6 meters.
Okay.
If you watch Test cricket and they put up that pitch map with the lengths on, 6 meters stays 6 meters. Where they say don't get carried away with the pace and bounce is that your margins become small at the Wonders.
Mm-hmm.
6 meters is your ideal length. On the coast, you've probably got, say, close to 50 centimeters on the shorter side that you can miss on, and you'll still be able to kind of hit the stumps. Whereas at the Wonders, if you're missing 50 centimeters, that's going close to kind of to that. Let's just say that, and that's where
glove height more sense. Yeah,
that's that's batter's food. So it's just margins. I think that you can't get carried away with. You try and hit your lengths. I mean, you've learned to bowl length since you were under 9 as a bowler. It doesn't change on any wicket. I think just where not everybody can hit the spot 6 out of 6, but where you're missing is important. Where you kind of changing your length is quite important. Obviously, at the Wonders, you can rather miss fuller because you're still going to be able to get that bounce. On the coast, you can miss shorter because you're going to get that extra bounce. So it's those types of things. On the coast, if you go a bit too full, it's half volley. Unless you're swinging it, and then that's wickets. But it's like I say, 6 meters stays 6 meters. It's just you got to be highly accurate, making sure that that that's what you need to do. We get told from every single experienced player. I've gotten told I have to tell guys. Jacques has said it throughout his career. All you want to do is hit the top of off with a hot bounce. So if I'm bowling at the Wonders and I bowl a ball and it's hit the top of off, that's my length for the day. If I'm bowling in Durban and I hit the top of off, that's my length for the day. So it's like you're not always going to hit your length, but once you find that, you got to stick with it.
Okay.
That's the skill on its own.
Since we are all talking about pitches, when we spoke to Dane Patterson, your bowling partner, we asked him whether there'd been a difference in the Newlands pitch since the
that was my second
construction.
question.
He said it's definitely got slower. Do you think it's got slower since the construction or not?
Yeah, so obviously I've been back for 3 years now. I do think it's gotten slower, but since I got back, I think it's improved season by season.
Okay.
I know during the construction it was a minefield. George Linder took the most wickets for donkey's years, 5 years since the construction started.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was a spin-friendly wicket during that period.
It was.
I feel like it's gone almost back to normal. I would say it's about 75% there. Back to old Newlands where there's a bit of pace, there's that tennis ball bounce. You can kind of look up and decide on the toss. Whereas 2 years ago, you kind of knew what you were going to get at the toss. You're just going to bat first. So it has improved, I would say. I know Dane obviously left and came back, but he left during that period where it was quite bad, and it was slow and it was low. But I think it's getting back to normal now. Brown, the groundsman, has done an unbelievable job to kind of get restored, and it's good to go now. I think we played the 2 home games there now. Bowl teams out, bowled both of them out. So it's kind of back to normal where we take it.
I don't think it's the pitch. I honestly think it's that little barrage you're building there, Cape Town. I think for me, the next question is then, what's the one wicket that plays and repeat in your head all the time? The one wicket you go back to and be like, we were humming.
The best one.
Yes.
The best one.
Or the most memorable one. Though, like, there's some can be best, some can be memorable because of the situation in the game, whatever it was. But is there a wicket in that is like
it could be memorable if it was a long hop, if it won you the game.
There's been a lot. There's been so many, but the best one for me was Brendan McCullum in the IPL.
Ooh, yes.
2014.
Kings 11, McCullum, baby.
It's Brendan McCullum. If you miss your length, you're going. So
you're going.
I think I bowled 4 balls to him. I was able to keep him at bay and obviously got his wicket as well. That was that was a good one for me.
There we go.
One of my best ones.
Something out of the IPL. Okay. Beuran.
I'm not going to say I have only one. I've actually got 2.
Yes.
I think they go hand in hand. They tie together. Rohit Sharma as well. Chinnaswamy. That's the Chinnaswamy. As a bowler, you feel like you're just like in this little box. That's your field. Those are the 2 that stays left and right. It just stays with me.
Oh, yes.
Awesome.
Oh, we love it. Beuran, I could talk to you for hours. I've got so many questions, but we'll leave it at that. I just want to say thank you very much. One last question. If a Proteas call-up came up for the test team, would you be keen?
It probably depends on what the conversation's about. I know in the past there wasn't a lot of clarity as to where I fit in. So if there's clarity, if I know I'm going to be kind of one of the 2 that's going to be selected for a game, then the mindset will be to be keen for it. But if it's just a call up where you don't know where you stand in the squad, it's quite difficult. Having gone through that for years now, it's basically what the conversation is about if that call comes.
Okay. Communication.
Yes. I think that's what we've heard from everybody we've spoken about.
Literally everybody.
Yeah, everyone's like, guys, we're adults now. Talk to us.
Yeah.
A little bit about your team. which youngster do you think has it in because there's so many youngsters in your side, but like, are there guys the way if somebody is watching this show and doesn't know necessarily South African domestic cricket, where you're like, no, these this group or whoever these guys are, they got it.
Mitlali, definitely. Mitlali
That
is
100.
besides the 100. It's Mpho, I promise you, it's not just the 100. The guy has played some special innings when you needed him the most. He's bowled some special spells when you needed him the most. The guy has BMT, I promise you. There's something special in him that, you just got to watch him. Like, sometimes he just creates magic. And I'm really excited for him. I'm actually trying to spend a lot of time with him now, especially on the bowling front. I think there's a lot more in him that he can hold on. He's got good skill now, but if you can tap into what's actually sitting in his body, he can really become a force with bat and ball. So I'm really excited for him. I'm excited for what's to come for him. This is start to what he's built now over the past couple of seasons. He's really taking his game to another level, and he's definitely got character. I don't think a lot of people will get to hear this, but we were 80 for 4. Kyle obviously told us a story. Skipper, he told us a story. Mitlali walks in, and he says, "Skip, I want to win this." And Bob's uncle is 100, match winning 100, record partnership with the captain. Now, if you hear something like that, it's a special character that can say something like that and actually do the business. So yeah, I'm really excited for him.
Truly.
Yeah, I agree. The big thing for me is I'm not sure whether he's a batting or bowling all-rounder. That's the big thing.
He's confusing us all, I think. Confusing us all. If he doesn't do it with the bat, he doesn't do it with the ball.
But that was one of even like what was great with Jacques, right? If he didn't do it with the bat, which was few,
exactly.
he would come and do it with the ball.
That's what they've been looking for. So there you go.
No, we still need that. It's not what they're looking for. We are still looking for that type of a player. So I'm really excited that he's managed to get a really impressive resume with this tournament, because he in Johannesburg I was really impressed with him, and I have watched a lot of him. I just felt that this 100 was a statement. I just wish more people watched it, because he's I'm a fan. I've always been a fan. And he's the one guy who I wish John O'Leaf Wright would call.
No chance. Well, the season's not over yet. Let me just remind you, the season's not over yet. Right? Season's only begun.
Trophies to win, Mpho. Trophies to win.
We could only dream. And yes, and Beuran, with that, I want to say thank you very much. I wish you all the best for the 4-day and the T20. If you can do a three-peat, a treble, it will be unbelievable. I think it will bring back Western Province cricket into the ether. This win should do it, but if you can bring back that whole of the olden days when you guys had Charles and Vernon and all those guys who were Proteas, it would mean a lot. It'll make me sad, but we do need a strong Western Province in our game. And I wish you all the best for your future endeavors. I wish you many T20 contracts to come, and we'll hope we can do this again. Maybe when you win the 4-day series, or when you do something amazing, we'll give you a call. But thank you very much, Beuran.
Cheers, Mpho. Thanks for having me. Thanks,
Joe. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye. That's Beuran Hendricks, a winner of the weekend, doing an amazing job. It was a great interview. He's got something for this little media thing. So maybe SuperSport will call him up. It would be nice to hear Beuran's voice, doing some commentary once he's done. Not now. Once he's done, or maybe now. Who knows? But Tim, thank you very much, and thank you very much to Western Province.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So this week we'll have another interview with someone else who plays in our domestic setup. So we're doing that, and then as South Africa lead up to those big games this week, please do enjoy that. They play New Zealand on Wednesday, and then they play India on Sunday. So yeah, just watch the space. We've got many interviews coming out this week, many podcasts coming out this week. So to keep you informed, to keep you going, we know it's in the middle of the World Cup, but this interview was beautiful. So thank you very much to Western Province, the team. They really do. When we asked, they delivered, and so really amazing. and really happy for that. But Tim, well done on being a One Day Cup champion. I'll take the rest, and that's how we're going to leave it. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day. Goodbye, and le sale kakahiso.